Welcome to Era of New Learning Method. Meta Zenith and WATNI Digital is offering certification in AI and entrepreneurship. Let's us review what we are going to target in coming year.
You know that feeling when you have a great idea for a business, but turning it into a real registered company? It feels, well, kind of impossible, right? But what if I told you there was a 12-month blueprint to do exactly that? Today, we're going to dive into a program that guides you from that first little spark of an idea all the way to launch day. So at the very core of this whole thing is a really simple but super powerful idea. This isn't about sitting in a classroom reading textbooks. Nope. It's all about getting your hands dirty and actually building something. This philosophy, learning by doing, earning while learning, pretty much shapes every single part of the experience. Okay, so how do they actually do that? How does it work in practice? Well, check this out. A whopping 70% of your time is spent on pure practical application, actually doing the work. Then you've got 20% dedicated to guidance from mentors, and only 10% is that traditional theory stuff. The message here is crystal clear. You're not here to just study business. You're here to build one from the ground up. All right, let's get into it. The journey kicks off with phase 1, from your idea to an MVP. These first 3 months are all about laying that crucial foundation. You start with that little what-if moment and turn it into a minimum viable product. And that's just a fancy way of saying the most basic, bare-bones version of your idea that you can get into the hands of real people for feedback. And this is the big one, isn't it? The question that stops so many of us dead in our tracks. You feel like you need this lightning bolt moment of genius, this once-in-a-lifetime idea, before you can even take the first step. But what if that whole approach is just wrong? But this program, it totally flips that idea on its head. Instead of just waiting around for a brilliant idea to strike, it teaches you how to hunt for problems. The very first thing you do is the 100 Problems Challenge. It trains you to spot opportunities everywhere, to find those little frustrations people would happily pay to make disappear. Because here's the secret. The best businesses, the ones that last, they don't start with an idea. They start with a solution. So this first phase is broken down into 3 really smart steps. First, it starts with you, making sure your business lines up with your own passions and strengths. Then, you validate your best ideas. And I'm not talking about guessing. I'm talking about actually talking to people, maybe even getting them to prepay for it. And only then, once you know people want what you've got, do you actually build that first version. It's a clear path from self-discovery to market validation. And get this, after just 3 months, look at what you've actually created. Not just notes and theories, but real, concrete assets. A manifesto to guide your decisions, a whole portfolio of validated business opportunities, a rock-solid business model, and the big one, a functional MVP. You've built a thing, a real thing. Okay, so you've built a product? Awesome. But that's just the start, right? Having a product is one thing, building a business around it is a whole different ballgame. That's what phase 2 is all about. The big question changes from, can I build this, to something much harder. Can I sell this? And can I build a real company around it? And the way they tackled this is super systematic. It's not just chaos. Think of it like building a house. You're laying down the 4 main walls of your company, one solid brick at a time, month by month. You'll tackle your digital presence, master sales, streamline your operations, and get your finances in perfect shape. And remember that earning while learning motto? Well, this is where the rubber really meets the road. During that sales mastery month, the training wheels are off. You get a real ambitious goal. Generate 100,000 rupees in actual revenue. This isn't a classroom exercise. It's not a simulation. This is real money from real customers. Now, they don't just throw you into the deep end and say, good luck. They equip you with a full sales toolkit that covers all the angles. You'll get good at modern digital channels like social media and email, but also old school offline strategies like direct sales. And the key part, the really critical thing, is that you learn to build a system for it all with tools like a CRM, so your sales process isn't just luck, it's repeatable. So by the time you're done with this phase, you're not just a founder with a product, you are thinking like a serious CEO. You walk away with 2 absolutely essential assets, a professional pitch deck ready for investors, and a detailed 12-month financial projection. This is the moment your little project officially grows up into a business that's ready for prime time. All right, this brings us to the home stretch, phase 3, scaling for growth. The whole goal here is to make a huge shift in your mindset. You're moving from a scrappy startup that's still figuring things out to a scale-up that has a proven model and is ready to hit the gas. This is all about smart, strategic acceleration. And let me tell you, this phase forces a huge personal shift. As a founder, you have to evolve from being the person who does everything to being the person who builds and leads a great team. It's not about proving the concept anymore. It's about hitting the accelerator. And honestly, that's maybe the hardest part for any founder, learning to let go and trust your team to run with your vision. And you can bet the targets here are ambitious. The growth hacking module sets a really clear goal: hit 30% growth month after month. That kind of compounding momentum doesn't come from just spending more money on ads. It comes from learning the science of growth, running smart, data-driven experiments, and building that addictive, shareable quality right into your product itself. You know, the program also gets that not all businesses are the same. One size definitely doesn't fit all. So in month 10, you get to dive deep into a specialization track. Whether you're building a tech company, an agro business, something in the creative world, or in local manufacturing, you're really drilling down and getting the specific expertise you need to become a recognized name in your field. Okay, so you've gone through 12 months of this intense journey, building, selling, scaling. What does success actually look like at the end? Well, the program is super clear about this. They define it with hard, measurable numbers. They're not vague about it. Here's exactly what you will have achieved when you graduate. First up, the money test. Your business must have generated a minimum of $500,000 rupees in total revenue. And we're not talking about forecasts or what-ifs. This is cold, hard proof that you've built something the market actually wants and is willing to pay for. Next, the customer test. It's not enough to just make some money. You need a real base of customers. That means having at least 50 paying customers. And we're talking real customers here, not just your mom and your best friend. This is the ultimate proof that you found that magic sweet spot, product market fit. And finally, the big one, the ultimate deliverable. You don't just graduate with a cool project or a business plan. You graduate as the founder of a formal, legally registered business entity. You are, no kidding, officially an entrepreneur. So there you have it, a complete 12-month blueprint for transformation, from just being a problem spotter to becoming a registered company founder. The path is laid out, so the only real question left is, what are you going to build?
I invite you to register for this exclusive masterclass. Just fill in your details on the form provided and hit the submit button.